For over 2 decades, Pikachu has been more than just a mascot. He's been a fierce battler, a loyal friend, and the heart of Pokémon. From shocking trainers to taking down legendaries, Pikachu's journey has been filled with triumph, heartbreak, and evolution. Well, almost. This is the complete story of Pikachu, from his first spark to his final battle. Pikachu is more than Ash's first Pokémon. He's the soul of the journey. But his story is not about Ash's rise as a trainer. This is about Pikachu himself. The moments where he shined, the rivals he faced, and the battles that made history. To truly understand Pikachu's journey, we have to start at the very beginning. Before he became a champion, before he took down legendary Pokémon, Pikachu was just a stubborn, disobedient electric mouse with no interest in being anyone's partner. Unlike most Pokémon, he refused to stay in a Pokéball and had zero respect for his trainer. But from that rebellious beginning came one of the strongest bonds in Pokémon history. The first time we meet Pikachu, he's the complete opposite of the loyal companion we know today. Given to Ash as a last resort starter, Pikachu instantly establishes that he doesn't trust humans, shocking Ash the moment he tries to be friendly. This Pikachu isn't just wild. He's arrogant, mischievous, and completely unwilling to battle on command. Ash, determined to bond with Pikachu, tries everything, from offering food to dragging him along with a rope. But Pikachu makes it clear, he doesn't care. It all comes to a breaking point when Ash tries to catch a Pidgey the way any first-time trainer would, by throwing a Pokeball. Pikachu, instead of helping, just laughs at Ash's failure. But when Ash gets electrocuted by a wild Spearow for trying to catch it, Pikachu refuses to help. This isn't just disobedience. Pikachu outright enjoys watching Ash struggle. But then comes the turning point. When Ash accidentally angers an entire flock of Spearow, Pikachu gets caught in the chaos. But Ash, despite Pikachu's cold attitude, shields him with his own body, taking the full attack himself. Wounded and exhausted, Ash stumbles forward, still carrying Pikachu in his arms. He apologizes for being a bad trainer and tells Pikachu to run away to save himself. As the Spearow close in, Pikachu gathers his last bit of strength, launches into the air, and releases a massive thunderbolt, one that obliterates the entire flock and marks the beginning of something legendary. As they both recover, Pikachu licks Ash's cheek, a silent apology and the first real sign of trust. Even though Pikachu has started trusting Ash, he's still not exactly a powerhouse. That becomes obvious when they challenge Brock's Onix. Pikachu's Thunderbolt barely does anything, and the battle ends in complete humiliation. But instead of giving up, Ash and Pikachu train together, using a water wheel to charge Pikachu's electricity far beyond its normal limits. This is the first real training Pikachu ever undergoes, marking the beginning of his road to becoming one of the strongest Pokémon in history. When they face Brock again, Pikachu lands a hit, but Onix still proves too strong. Just as the battle seems lost, the sprinklers go off, soaking Onix and allowing Pikachu's electricity to do serious damage. Brock, realizing Ash never intended to cheat, gives Pikachu the win. A victory that shows Pikachu isn't just some disobedient pet anymore. He's becoming a fighter. The real test of Pikachu's character comes at Vermilion City Gym, where he faces Lotun Surge and his fully evolved Raichu. This is the first time Pikachu is completely overpowered. Raichu is bigger, stronger, and faster, and it demolishes Pikachu in one hit. The loss leaves Pikachu battered and humiliated. Surge mocks them, calling Pikachu weak and suggesting Ash use a Thunderstone to evolve Pikachu into Raichu. At first, Ash considers it. Would evolving make Pikachu stronger? Would it give him a fighting chance? But Pikachu refuses. Rather than winning by evolving, Pikachu wants to prove he can be strong in his own way. And with a new strategy, using his speed rather than brute force. Pikachu dodges Raichu's heavy attacks and takes him down in one of the most iconic battles of the series. Pikachu may have started out as a stubborn little gremlin with an attitude problem, but once he committed to battling, he never backed down from a challenge. Over the years, Pikachu took on some of the toughest opponents in Pokémon history, facing off against legendaries, champions, and powerhouses way bigger and stronger than him. And yet, he kept winning. Not just by brute force, but by outsmarting and outlasting his opponents. By the time Ash made it to the Orange League Finals, Pikachu had already taken down his fair share of strong opponents. But now he is going to face something different. This wasn't just any battle. This was a championship match against a fully evolved, battle-hardened Dragonite. Dragonite had already wrecked 3 of Ash's Pokémon. It was fast, it was powerful, and it was barely breaking a sweat. Pikachu was the last Pokémon standing, and for a second, it seemed like Ash was completely outmatched. But Pikachu did what Pikachu does best. He found an opening and went for it. Dodging Dragonite's hyper beams with ridiculous speed, Pikachu climbed up its body, got right in its face, and unleashed a point-blank thunder attack that sent Dragonite crashing to the ground. And just like that, Pikachu won Ash his first ever championship. This was one of the first major moments where Pikachu proved he could stand on his own against fully evolved powerhouses. And it was only the beginning. Taking down a Dragonite was one thing, but then Pikachu had to go up against a legendary Pokémon. Ash's final challenge in the Battle Frontier was against Brandon, the Pyramid King, a trainer known for using Regirock, Registeel, and Regice. These were no ordinary Pokémon. They were massive, tanky, and almost impossible to take down. And when Pikachu stepped up to fight Regice, the battle looked completely one-sided. Regice hit Pikachu with Ice Beam after Ice Beam, freezing him solid in the middle of the battle. For a moment, it looked like it was over. But then, Pikachu broke out. With one final push, Pikachu charged up a full-power Volt Tackle, dodged Regis's final attack, and slammed into it with everything he had. Regis went down. Pikachu stood tall, and Ash won the Battle Frontier. By this point, Pikachu wasn't just getting lucky. He was trading blows with legendaries and winning. If Regis wasn't proof enough that Pikachu could handle legendary Pokémon, his next big fight made sure the world knew exactly how powerful he was. In the Sinnoh League semifinals, Ash ran into Tobias, the most broken trainer in Pokémon history. This guy brought a Darkrai to the tournament, a Darkrai. He was wiping out entire teams with one Pokémon. And if that wasn't bad enough, when Ash finally took down Darkrai, Tobias immediately sent out a Latios. Because, you know, one legendary wasn't enough. Pikachu was up next, and this battle was insane. Latios was bigger, stronger, and faster, but Pikachu refused to go down. The two clashed at full speed, Pikachu using Quick Attack to dodge, Latios using Giga Impact to counter. And in one of the most epic moments of the series, Pikachu jumped onto Latios midair, ran across its body, and landed a direct thunderbolt. The final clash was pure chaos. Pikachu charged in for an Iron Tail. Latios came in with full force, and when the dust settled, both Pokémon went down at the same time. Pikachu didn't win this fight, but the fact that he took down a legendary in a one-on-one battle was a huge deal. Tobias had been undefeated, wiping out teams without breaking a sweat, and Pikachu stopped him in his tracks. Not only did this battle win Ash his first official Pokémon League championship, but it was also one of the most visually stunning fights Pikachu had ever been in. From dodging lightning-fast attacks to unleashing his strongest Thunderbolt ever, Pikachu once again proved why. When Ash faced Richie in the Indigo League, it wasn't just another battle. This was Pikachu versus Pikachu, a battle against Sparky, Richie's own Pikachu, who was just as fast, just as powerful, and just as determined to win. It was a mirror match of pure skill, and Pikachu had never faced anything like it before. Every Thunderbolt, Quick Attack, and Iron Tail was matched blow for blow. But the battle ended in one of the most frustrating ways possible. Ash's Pikachu, exhausted from an earlier battle, couldn't keep up, and Ash was eliminated from the tournament. For Pikachu, this loss was personal. He didn't just lose to any Pokémon, he lost to another Pikachu. This fight wasn't about raw strength. It was about who was the better Pikachu, and after this battle, Pikachu never let himself lose like that again. If there's one rivalry that pushed Pikachu harder than almost any other, it was against Paul's Electivire. Paul wasn't just any rival, he was ruthless. Unlike Ash, who trained his Pokémon with kindness and trust, Paul saw Pokémon as tools. If they weren't strong enough, he got rid of them. And when Pikachu first fought Paul's Electabuzz, before it evolved, it was brutal. Pikachu got completely destroyed, but the real fight came later when Electabuzz evolved into Electivire. Pikachu had been waiting for this rematch. The battle was intense. Electivire was bulkier, stronger, and knew how to counter Pikachu's speed. But Pikachu had grown too. This wasn't the same Pikachu that got wrecked earlier. This was a Pikachu who had fought legendaries, trained non-stop, and was ready to take Paul down. The moment that defined the battle, Pikachu's lightning armor maneuver, using Electivire's own thunder attack to boost Pikachu's speed, allowing him to break through and land a direct iron tail. It was Pikachu at his smartest and most determined. This was no longer just about winning a battle. This was about shutting down everything Paul believed in. It wouldn't be a list of Pikachu's greatest rivalries without Meowth. From the very first episode, Meowth has chased, battled, and schemed against Pikachu, making their rivalry one of the longest-running feuds in the entire Pokémon series. But here's the thing. This rivalry isn't just about fighting. Unlike the other rivalries Pikachu has had, Meowth actually respects him. Sure, he's tried to steal Pikachu about 1,000,000 times. Sure, they've battled over and over again. But deep down, Meowth knows the truth. Pikachu is one of the strongest Pokémon in the world. And in some weird way, that makes him Meowth's ultimate opponent. The most emotional moment in their rivalry? The time Team Rocket chose to let Pikachu go. In Pikachu's goodbye, Pikachu found a group of wild Pikachu, and for a moment, it looked like he was finally going to stay with his own kind. Team Rocket watched from the shadows but did something completely unexpected. They didn't attack. They actually wanted to see Pikachu happy. Of course, Pikachu ultimately chose to stay with Ash. But this moment proved that beneath all the battles, explosions, and failed kidnapping attempts, Meowth and Pikachu understood each other. They were rivals. But they were also the closest thing to friends that enemies could be. The times Pikachu almost left. Pikachu and Ash are inseparable. After years of battles, gym victories, and life-or-death moments, you'd think nothing could ever come between them. But there were a few times, a few heartbreaking moments, where it actually looked like Pikachu might leave Ash forever. Some of these moments were tragic, some were gut-wrenching, and some were just flat-out ridiculous. But every single time it reminded us just how deep Pikachu and Ash's bond really was. This was the first time Ash truly believed he was about to lose Pikachu. While traveling through a forest, Ash and his friends stumbled upon something incredible. A wild tribe of Pikachu living together in their natural habitat. These weren't just any Pikachu. They were free, happy, and thriving in the wild. And the second Pikachu saw them, something clicked. For the first time since leaving Pallet Town, Pikachu was with his own kind. At first, Pikachu was hesitant, but after getting to know the tribe, he started fitting in perfectly. He played with them, swam with them, and even saved a few of them from drowning in a river, immediately earning their respect. And that's when Ash realized something. Maybe Pikachu didn't need him anymore. Watching Pikachu smile, laugh, and live freely, Ash started to think, maybe this was where Pikachu truly belonged. And in a rare moment of selflessness, he made one of the hardest decisions of his life. Ash told Pikachu to stay behind. He didn't even say goodbye face to face. He just turned and walked away, tears in his eyes, trying to convince himself it was the right thing to do. And then, Pikachu came running after him. In one of the most emotional moments in the entire series, Pikachu chose Ash. He didn't care about living in the wild. He didn't care about being with other Pikachu. His place was with Ash. Cue the tears. This was the first major test of their bond, and it proved something that would never change. Pikachu will always stay by Ash's side. This was probably the weirdest moment in Pikachu's history, because unlike the other times Pikachu almost left, this time, Pikachu straight up turned against Ash. It all started when Ash, Pikachu, and the gang arrived in Unova. Everything was going fine, until Pikachu stumbled into a wild Pokémon revolution. A group of Pokémon had started an anti-human movement. They were done with trainers, done with battling, and believed Pokémon should be free. And somehow, Pikachu got brainwashed into joining them. Yes, Pikachu. The same Pikachu who stayed with Ash for over 600 episodes. Pikachu literally turned his back on Ash, joining the rebellion and refusing to return to his Pokéball. At first, Ash thought it was a joke, but when Pikachu started growling at him and walked away with the other Pokémon, Ash was left completely speechless. For the first time ever, Pikachu had chosen another path. Of course, things got really weird, really fast. Team Rocket showed up, chaos broke out, and eventually, Pikachu snapped out of it and returned to Ash. But for a few minutes, it really looked like Pikachu was gone for good. It wasn't emotional like Pikachu's goodbye, but it was the only time Pikachu actively chose to leave Ash. And for those few minutes, Ash was completely lost without him. If there's one thing that's been consistent throughout Pikachu's entire journey, it's that someone is always trying to steal it. Team Rocket, obsessed with Pikachu. Mewtwo tried to clone him. The Iron-Masked Marauder wanted to turn him evil. Seriously, Pikachu has been kidnapped, stolen, brainwashed, cloned, and zapped more times than we can count. And while Ash always fights to get him back, there have been a few times where it seemed like Pikachu was actually gone for good. For over 2 decades, Pikachu fought in countless battles, took down some of the strongest Pokémon in history, and carried Ash through leagues, tournaments, and rivalries. But after all those years, there was still one final battle that would define everything. The battle that would finally crown Ash as the greatest trainer in the world. It all led to this: Pikachu versus Leon's Charizard. After battling through every top-tier trainer in the world, Ash made it to the final round of the World Coronation Series, where he had to face Leon, the undefeated monarch. Leon wasn't just another champion, he was the champion. He had never lost a single official battle, and standing by his side was his ace, Charizard, one of the most powerful Pokémon in existence. By the time Pikachu entered the battlefield, both trainers had already given it everything they had. Every Pokémon Ash had used was down. It was all up to one final battle: Pikachu versus Charizard. No second chances. From the start, Charizard dominated. His brute strength, flight advantage, and flamethrower attacks put Pikachu on the defensive. Every time Pikachu dodged an attack, Charizard countered immediately. The battle looked one-sided, but Pikachu had been through too much to let this end in a loss. Using his small size and speed, Pikachu started closing the gap, weaving through Charizard's attacks and landing Iron Tails and Quick Attacks with precision. The fight turned into a game of endurance. Who could hold out long? Then came the final moment. Both Pokémon charged up their strongest attacks. Charizard's G-Max Wildfire versus Pikachu's Thunderbolt. The battlefield lit up in a massive explosion, and for a split second, it looked like both Pokémon had fainted. Then, through the smoke and debris, Pikachu was the last one standing. The crowd erupted. The announcers went wild. Pikachu had done it. He had taken down the strongest Pokémon of the strongest trainer in the world. And with that victory, Ash became the Pokémon World Champion. This was the battle that defined Pikachu's legacy. This wasn't just another win. This was the moment Pikachu reached the top of the Pokémon world. After the championship battle, something felt different. For years, Ash and Pikachu had fought, struggled, and lost. But now, they had finally won. They had nothing left to prove. And for the first time in Pokémon history, Ash didn't immediately set out for another tournament. He didn't chase another gym bag. He simply went home. Ash and Pikachu returned to Pallet Town, the same place their journey had started all those years ago. The world around them had changed, but they were still the same. And with that, Pikachu's journey with Ash came to an end. And that's the full story of Pikachu, Pokemon's greatest champion. For over 1,200 episodes, Pikachu was more than just a mascot. He was a fighter, a friend, and the heart of Pokemon itself. From his first shocking Thunderbolt to his final battle, Pikachu proved that you don't need to evolve to be the best. You just need to keep moving forward. So, what was your favorite Pikachu moment? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories like this.